Yo, Swag,
Juan, what's up?
how's it going?
Going good. How are you doing?
It's great. I was just thinking about that tweet about Swag Team Moose. I think that needs to become a thing.
Yeah, I think I need a moose avatar.
Yeah, for real. Like a combination between a frog, a Kermit, and a moose.
Yeah, we need some creative minds to get on this ASAP.
It sounds pretty dope. It sounds pretty dope. Hey man, it's exciting. It's the first Hackathon Recap Call of the year, 2024. This initiative started. What was our first one?
Dude, I
Was
can't remember. It's been a while, that's for sure.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute, and yeah, we think that from hacker feedback in our dev community, it seems like people do like these calls. So we're happy to bring this back again for 2024. A lot of hackathons, a lot of events happening, and this year we're catching it right from the start. And yeah, today we have the great pleasure of having invited hackers from the ETHGlobal Circuit Breaker hackathon that happened during the month of February. And yeah, excited for this first kickoff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's exciting. It's good to be back. And yeah, today we have three projects joining us that won some of our bounties at the Circuit Breaker Hackathon. And let's dive into some stats around the hackathon just very briefly to give people some context in terms of what this was all about and maybe what to expect from these projects that are joining us today. So the Circuit Breaker Hackathon uh, happened in February. Scroll has been the main sponsor. We've put up $10,000 in prizes, but other really interesting projects have also been sponsoring, like Aztec and the Privacy and Scaling Explorationist Group at Ethereum, and other big names. So it's been a really fun, kind of small little online hackathon that was very focused on ZK and privacy. So you can expect those categories in terms of the projects that are going to join us today. Um, and yeah, so we've had two prize tracks. We've had one track for the best ZK usage for privacy on Scroll, and one prize track for the best ZK usage for scalability on Scroll. And both of those were rewarded with 5K each. So 3.5K to the first project, the first winner, and 1.5K to the runner-up in both tracks. And so, yeah, it's been a very ZK heavy and privacy heavy hackathon, which is pretty cool. And I say, yeah, let's get right into it. I think the first project today we want to introduce to our community is the Urban Odyssey team. So let's bring them on stage.
awesome. We have Ender and Shiam, right?
Sorry, I'm in the Shadow Warfare team.
Oh, okay, cool, Ender. Thank you. No worries.
Yeah, I'm with the Urban Odyssey.
Okay, Shiam, you're good.
Yeah,
Okay, what about BK? We have BK on the backstage.
yeah, he's from my team as well.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Welcome aboard, guys. Welcome aboard, Shiam and BK. Yeah, tell us more about your project.
Yeah, sure. Let me just share my screen.
Cool.
Can you guys see this?
We can see
Yep.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So we made a game called Urban Odyssey. So basically, it's a immersive, collaborative game that like an on-chain game that enables user to uh, register as like two teams, and there will be like two. Like right now, there are two teams: Eco Guardians and Technomads. So player has to like choose factions and like start playing games. The goal of the game is to like collaborate with other players and try to upgrade as many places as you can and farm as much resources as you can. At the end of the epoch, the team that has the highest amount of resources kind of gets the prize. So yeah, as eco guardians, you have to like focus on it's like a green team which will be focusing on sustainable growth and protecting the environment. And the technomads on the other end, they are like the modern humans, I guess, who kind of enhance the urban life with technology. So yeah, these are like the primary goals as a player of a particular faction. What you need to do, you have to like register green places and then verify these green places in order to earn the in-game currency called energy that like belongs to a faction called eco guardians. So yeah, and you can use this energy to like kind of upgrade your places, increase your rewards, and like also help like other players to like register their own places and collaborate with other with few other. And as a technomad, you have to register these places as infrastructures and tech hubs, like where people can gather and like share their workspaces and stuff like that. You get in-game currency called chips for registering and verifying places as a technomad. Uh, and the gaming mechanics is like pretty much same as Eco Guardian. You upgrade places and collaborate with other players to kind of increase your resources. So if you talk about the tech stack behind the game, it's basically scroll for the blockchain, where we kind of use it as the backend, like, and the database layer, where you can register all the places on chain and verify them on chain as well. We used proof of email to kind of eliminate the Sybil attack. Also, like, we don't actually reveal the identity of anyone. We just use this zero knowledge proof to kind of prove that yes, you have a Twitter account and you are a unique person. So yeah, your location or Twitter account is like not revealed anywhere while playing the game. We used ERC 55 to kind of have non fungible tokens for verified locations, and fungible tokens for in-game currency, namely energy and chips. So let me just walk through the demo, like what the game look like. uh, so yeah, this is the UI of the game. uh, when you like when you land on the game, like the landing page, you will have the screen, and then you will have a form that will ask you to register as a whether as a eco guardian or a technomad. By registering, you will get a small amount of energy for whichever the faction you have choose to go with. So yeah, and then you can like kind of register places, and this will kind of ask you to allow our server to access your location. But yeah, we don't reveal any kind of location to like of yours anywhere on chain. We just use it to generate and prove that you were at this location while registering this place. And in future, if anyone wants to verify this place, he has to be like near that place by at least 10 meters or anywhere near that. So yeah, this is like the player profile. You can see you register there. I have registered one places and verified it. And my faction, you can also kind of see other like other places. These are your places, and these are like the all places of all the players who have like kind of registered as a player. And you can kind of collaborate off with these other players. And like if any other player kind of comes to your place and verifies your place, you get some resource compensation on behalf of that. And we are using these resources, you can like upgrade the level of these places, which you can use like in future to have like more rewards on verifying places and stuff like that. So that's like the basic mechanism on how the urban odyssey works. So for future work, so for future plans, like we are planning to have like a more mobile friendly UI, in which you don't have to kind of have the actually connect your wallet every time, we can have an account abstraction layer which will help you to like just log in and start playing. Also we are like looking for more resilient location proofs. So right now we have like predefined locations on which player can like register and verify places. We would like eliminate that by um, having a more decentralized server execution that will allow any players to register and generate proof like from any place they want. uh, yeah, and like more gaming mechanisms like adding rides or journeys, like you can cycle from one place to another and earn some in-game currency, and also have some attack vectors, and like that can help you like attack other places based on the number of resources you have. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This was our team for the hackathon. I myself am Shyam, but then like I have Barko, Dharmik, and Inner Peace, who were part of my team as well. Thank you, and like yeah, please feel free to ask any questions, or if you want to contribute to our project, reach out to me, and we will be kind of having taking our project to next level after each Denver. And yeah, hopefully we'll have enough open source issues to for you guys to work as well. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Awesome, very cool. Thanks for presenting that. I do have a few questions. Can you talk us through the process of registering a place? Like from the UI, it seemed like you upload an image of the place. Is that the process, or is there like more involved there?
Yeah, so actually, to register as a new player, you do require gas for like registering as a player and to generate the Twitter email proof. So thing is like I don't right now have any accounts that hasn't already registered and have like gas. That's why I couldn't walk you through the registration flow.
Oh, that's fine. But what about the place, right? What if you want to register a new place?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Let me just go through that.
That would be cool to see. Do you want to share your screen for this?
Oh yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. So you just have to kind of say like what your place is, I guess, like, and the type of the place. You can choose like any type, I guess, and just choose a random image that's uh, kind of represents the place. Yeah, but I think the Maps API right now is not working because we were using like a third-party Google Maps API, and I think that seems to be down. Yeah, or else like every time you kind of register as a place, you get a map where you can select what place you want to kind of generate the proof for. But yeah, I think the Maps API is not working. If you want to see like how it works, we have a demo video on I think ETHGlobal showcase. Uh, there you can see like how exactly like it actually works.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was wondering because yeah, it makes a ton of sense to use the Maps API for that.
Yeah.
Cool. And then one more question I have is regarding the location verification using ZK proofs. Can you dive into how that works in a bit more detail?
Yeah, sure. So right now, what we do is like we have a set of predefined places. Uh, so while we kind of deploy our contract, we generate this location proofs of whatever the place is. Like we kind of define the range of latitudes and longitude in which the places are going to be registered, and we kind of have a ceremony, like have a tau ceremony in which the location proofs are generated, and like only places between this latitude and longitude ranges can kind of register right now. But what we are planning to do is like have a decentralized server in which anyone can kind of run a server and generate location proofs anywhere from anywhere they want, and like make the server code like open source and have a kind of server signature kind of mechanism. So so like anyone can just use like our code to generate their own on-chain proofs and like register places.
Gotcha. That's cool. Um, and did you use Noir for the proof generation, or which framework did you use?
We used Circum for generating location proofs because it's fairly fast compared. Like I think we used Growth 16, and I was familiar with Circum to like implement the algorithm that we wanted to use, because it's we require it like to be in within like few minutes, because like we cannot have users wait for like hours to just register for that places. So yeah, we used Circum to like have the circuits which kind of registers and generates the proofs, and then also generates auto generates on-chain contract from which we can kind of verify all this location proofs.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's cool. But just out of like curiosity, well, first of all, it's pretty impressive that you guys wrote this in Circum, because Circum usually doesn't have like the best user experience, right? Or
Yeah.
like dev experience. Um, but just out of curiosity, are you guys familiar with Noir, and have you looked into that?
I'm familiar with Noir, but I don't have like developer experience with that. I had like prior experience writing circuits with Circum. That's why like we used that.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely recommend looking into Noir a bit more. It has a pretty good dev experience, very easy to use compared to writing circuits in Circom. So yeah, if you want to expand your horizons a bit more, then that's really cool to look into.
Yes, yes, definitely. I'll definitely take a look.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you guys so much for presenting. It's been great, and congrats again on winning one of our bounties.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Juan.
You guys. Alrighty. Who's your next guest, Swag?
Let's go with Shadow Warfare. So that should be Ender and I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. What's your name? And Mahmoud.
Yeah. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Hope you're all doing great. Yeah, we're ready whenever you are. I'm super excited to hear about what you guys have built.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll start. I think the way me and Mahmood talked about it, I'll give an intro and talk about the architecture of the game, and then Mahmood would dive in details of the game, the circuits and the code and so forth, and show the tests and stuff.
Sounds great.
So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. So our README is kind of like our presentation. Spent quite a lot of time on the README. So this game is about strategic. It's an auto battler game. So what is an auto battler game? Auto battler game is where both sides choose a strategy uh, to fight each other, and then they leave it alone, and then the program computes the winner and does everything. Normally auto battler game is not very, you cannot really write auto battler games on Ethereum because all the states are public. So let's say it's almost like rock, you can think of it like rock paper scissors. So you can say rock and everyone knows that you have chosen rock, So someone can come and choose a strategy and you would always lose. So this is why we have to use ZK for this kind of game. So in our game, defense strategies are always hidden, private, and we use ZK for that. Uh, and then we also use ZK uh, for making the for off-chain computation of the game to make the game more scalable. So we use ZK for both privacy and scalability. So the way it works is quite simple. So in step one, a player comes in, he provides a ZK proof for his army, and we just make sure in the proof that the army actually follows the rules of the game. And then he pushes the proof on chain, and there's an on-chain verifier on EVM that verifies that proof, and then the hash of that defense strategy is saved on chain. So nobody can see the actual strategy because we only have the hash of the strategy on chain. And then uh, the city has a defense. So in step two, a player can choose to attack the city. The attacks are always public. So a player two says like, okay, I'm going to attack this defense with this public army, and the attack is also saved on chain at that moment. Like there is an ongoing attack on the city. And then in step three, we calculate the battle. Like player one has to come back, and this is an unfortunate step that we have to do. There was no way of getting around it. Because to calculate the battle, you need both the defensive army and the attacking army. And the only person who knows about the defensive army is the player one, who set the defensive army and has the hash on chain. So he has to compute the battle. So he takes the defensive army, and the attacking army is already on chain. He takes that, and then he generates a battle proof on his local machine, and then he pushes that to the EVM verifier, which verifies the results and then pushes the winner on chain. And then there is step four. It's an optional step. Now, player one, whenever he's doing the battle proof, he can see the oncoming attack, and he already knows his attack. There is a chance that seeing what attack is coming in, he already knows that he will lose the game, so he may not even do the step. So he might ghost player two. So in that case, after 24 hours in our game, we have the option that player two come in and loots the city, basically collect the forfeit. So that's all. It's pretty simple. We have two proofs, two verifiers, and that's pretty much it. And the technologies used, obviously, Scroll is where we deployed our contracts, and Noir is all our circuits were written in, and also the verification was generated by Noir. One more thing I'll just go through is the importance of the zero knowledge proof in the game. So as I said, the zero knowledge proof helps us not only with the privacy but also scalability. Now, the defender's defense will never be shown in public. So now it's up to us, the game developers, on how to handle that. So we can actually, if the defender loses the game, then we can make him make the defense again, or we can just let him keep as is. Uh, the outside world would never know what the defense was. Now, looking at the attacks that have maybe defeated it, there could be some leaked information, and that would just go in the strategy of the game if we choose to do so. For now, like it's only a proof of concept, and the game is a work in progress, pretty much. And I'll probably hand over to Mahmood now for more demo.
All right, do you hear me, guys?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, so do you see my screen as well?
Not yet.
Yes. Now?
Yes, now we can see it.
Okay, so I can walk you through the circuits because, like, before designing the game, the main thing was like how to keep things, how to distinguish between like private and public state and what we want to do. So the easy thing was the army one. And what we take is we have three types of armies, and each army like contains a faction, and each faction is infantry, artillery, and tanks. And each faction has a strong type against a weak type. That's what we. So the total population should be 1,000, and that's what we check here. I know this might be a bit abstract because it's code, but like this is the main idea behind the game. The good thing is we can add many other types of factions, and that would make the game more strategic, and also it would make the game spicier. So what we do in the first circuit, which is the simple one, is that we assert on the sum of the population, which should be 1,000. And then if that's valid, then okay, we verify that on chain, and that's it. We register a city. I can walk you through this here. So yes, build city. And this is a technical description. And what we do is we give the public input, which is the hash of the army. So first, that verifies that, okay, this user is not tampering with the private army. And second, we will store this on-chain because when the user is going to report the attack, we will assert on using the defense army. And this is how the logic of ZK in dApps work. And this is quite the simple part here. I mean, the magical part of our project is the battle circuit. In the battle circuit, what it does is what we do is we have infantry beats artillery. So let's say a first user like has a population of 300 infantry. We compare that to artillery, which is let's say 200, and if it is more, then we get 1 point. So, and since we have three factions, and we can have 3 points in total. And what we do here is that if a user beats gets 2 points defending an attacking army, then that will decide who's the winner. Later on, after reporting, like Ender said, so if you defend an army, the defender will get a point, and the defender will keep his army private. This is also an additional perk using ZK. But if the defender army is destroyed, then he will get nothing, but his attacker will get a point. But he will be required to build a new city, and thus submitting a new army proof, etc. And the cycle goes on. We have our tests here if anyone is interested in narco tests. And we have also the amazing thing about this circuit is, so the main circuit is like the main function like in Rust here. And like you see here, the only private input is my army. The other one are pub. And why is these are pub? Because we need to take these inputs either as a user input or as an input stored from the smart contract. And I can present that here. So if we go to report attack, and what we do is we get the proof from the user and we get the public inputs from the contract. And this is how we verify that this user is not tampering with anything and is being honest with the attack report. So first what we take, I know we didn't go through let's say the structs for the full state of the game, but I can walk you through this and I hope it's not confusing. So now the defender wants to report the attack from his attacker. And what we take is we take the defender's army hash. So this will mean that the reported attack from the defender's army is not changed. The army of the defender is not changed. And then we proceed to taking the attacker army as public. Because what if I see the attacker army, which is public, and let's say the user knows that he's going to lose, but we want to make sure that he took his attacker army as it is, and this also provides the integrity of the attacker army. And the last thing, since what we do is we take here as a battle result, which is like 1 or 0, depending on like the faction battles. We take it as it is as an input from the user, and we assert that inside the circuit, because that's also like checks the integrity of the user action. That's it for I think we that's it for the circuit explanation. But if you want me to walk through anything more, please let me know.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the detailed walkthrough. I'm sure the CK lovers have really enjoyed that, and so have I. So that's really cool. I have so many thoughts because like I think this project is really cool because it obviously reminds me a lot of like Dark Forest and those types of games that hide information and create interesting strategic choices that emerge from those properties, right? So it's really fun. It's a really fun concept to kind of play around with and toy around with. And yeah, honestly, I don't even have many questions. I just have like thoughts that I want to share. Because I think there's a lot of potential here, right? In
Yes.
terms of like new ideas and new features you could add. You could add different types of armies. You could add certain like perks or like maybe like what's a better word for this? Like
Also improvement. Sky is the limit. I mean, with this game, especially it's an open game, sky is the limit. You can add also different types of cities, etc. You can add different types of army, and you can update, you can upgrade, you can do anything.
yeah, that's exciting, right? Because you can basically even let people contribute to this permissionlessly, and maybe you can have like different versions of this game, right? Depending on what you want to play. Another cool thing that you could do is you could add like the armies are private, like the defense armies are private by default, but you can actually make them publicly visible, but then maybe give them perks of certain stats that are private. So somebody can see, oh, this city is defended by artillery, but you don't know what kind of perk this artillery has, right? The artillery could have like, I don't know, plus 50% damage or like, some weird stats that can have an impact. I don't know. There's just so much cool stuff that you can do with this kind of concept.
Yes, you can make it semi-private, so it makes the game not like a game for chance. So it becomes strategic. And like we said, like the defense army is private, and if someone attacks and you had a really high number of infantry and that loses, then okay, I say the next attack would be something different because I have this one and I can attack again. That makes it semi-private and thus like strategic. So you can land in a point for sure, the next one.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see where you guys take this. I think this definitely has potential to grow similarly how Dark Forest has grown. I just really like this kind of game. And I think, yeah, it's just entertaining and fun to make these strategic choices. And yeah, you can even add like resources in, right? And then maybe you can upgrade your city, and maybe you have more capacity for your armies and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm also a gamer, so it's really fun to think about the potential here.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, honestly, I don't have many questions. You guys use Noir, that's cool. How was your experience in general building on Scroll and using Noir and verifying that on Scroll?
Yeah, I can talk from the EVM perspective. Like deploying on Scroll was actually very simple. Thanks to you guys, the Scroll docs were pretty amazing. Now, for the Node side, I know Mahmoud had some issues, so I'll let him talk about that.
Yes, so Noir is really, really easy compared to Circle, especially if you already know how like writing a circuit works, and if you know a bit of Rust, then Noir is pretty easy. Also, like the local tests using Noir are quite swift and practical. I had like a really big challenge, and I spent hours and hours trying to make it work. Is that, let's say, generating proof locally with TypeScript, and since Aztec Noir is keeping updating the backend and everything like that, I couldn't manage to generate a proof at all. And that's how we didn't provide any like simulation for the game for generating proof and adding integration tests, etc. It was because of that.
Got it.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
oh, sorry. Like I was going to it's not that we did not have tests. We have unit tests. We just don't have integration tests.
Integration tests for a game simulation. I mean, you can also add some like terminal UI in a sense for that. That's quite cool because I used to do that for battleships. But yeah, I mean, like something stable like Snark.js when it comes to Noir is not available, I think. Also, we used Foundry at the beginning, and Foundry uses yes, like native Solidity for tests. Then we migrated to Hard Hat, the same problem. Yeah, and those were some hurdles we encountered during the hackathon.
Got it. Can you explain why that was an issue for your project?
Yes, because so let's talk, for example, about the army circuit. So first, we need to generate a proof. So we're trying to do some integration tests here, and we have, as I showed, a function that you need to provide a proof and a public input for, let's say, the report attack method in Solidity. So, and the problem is if you can't generate a proof like locally with TypeScript, you can't send that as for transaction input to the game contract. And that's how it wasn't possible to simulate some integration tests.
I see. All right. And so how did you fix that? So you used Foundry and then Hardhat, and then you switched to another tool?
No, we migrated from Foundry to Hardhat because the Aztec backend was in JavaScript. But we could do some scripts and stuff like that with Foundry, but that's more complicated, especially like this was like in the last 2 to 3 days before the submission deadline. Yes, I mean, what we can do, which is quite swift also with Aztec Noir, is that you have the CLI to prove and verify. And if you copy bytes from that and try to have some scripts to like use these custom inputs directly from a script from Noir to Solidity, that's possible, but it's gonna be really painful, and we didn't have time to do that.
Right, for sure. I see. That makes sense. Well, I'm glad you managed to fix that issue and managed to deploy. So yeah, this is a really fun project. I don't think I have any more questions. I'm just really excited about the potential here and looking forward to see what you guys cook up in the future. So thanks for coming on and thanks for presenting.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Juan. Time for
Nice.
the third project.
A lot of gaming projects. Interesting to see how privacy is being leveraged in that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For sure. I think Dark Forest has probably inspired quite a few of those, which is a
Yeah.
good thing because it's amazing.
Yeah. I remember just speaking about Dark Forest real quick. That was like one of my first. Yeah, actually, my first crypto event was actually DevCon in Colombia, and going to the Dark Forest conference, and like I was like the only concepts that I was like very interested on at that time was like gaming and understanding how gaming could fit into blockchain was very trivial. And watching or like listening to the Dark Forest conference, then I forgot the name of this guy, but like he came down from the stage and a whole crowd like gathered around him, and like we started chatting about blockchain gaming and seeing how popular it still is, and it's only getting more popular and interesting. So it's definitely very, very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So we have our next invitee here. Let's bring him on stage. Hey, Gabriel,
Hey
how's it
there.
going?
Yeah, it's going good. How about you?
All is great. All is great. How's the weather over there? Is it really, really cold?
Yeah, it's snowing since yesterday. No,
Oh, geez.
it's almost -3 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember last year getting to Denver, um, and my ears, like, they were bottom line like freezing and breaking. It was just insanely cold. So yeah. Anyways, you want to tell us more about your project?
Yeah, sure. I'll start presenting my screen.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So hey there, guys. This is my project, Privcast, a civil resistant and private voting application built with forecaster frames using Noir. So, Forecaster Frames is an interactive posting feature where the users can perform custom actions on the post other than the usual like, comment, and repost features in social media applications. So, the problem that I'm trying to address is that the polling applications in Forecaster store their votes in a centralized storage. So, this results in a lack of trust and authenticity in the voting system. And the solution Privcast provides is by using zero knowledge proofs. So when the user votes on Forecaster, instead of revealing his Forecaster ID or his wallet address, the user can generate a zero knowledge proof to vote on a poll. So this proof is generated using the signature of the user, which is sent privately to the circuit, and it generates a unique nullifier hash, which is unique for every single poll. So this enables 100% anonymity. So I use Noir oracles to fetch the address of the user using the forecaster ID, and by combining all the proofs, we can generate a Merkle root proof, which will be later passed on chain to validate the authenticity of all the oaths. So here's how it works. The user first uploads his poll on IPFS and posts it on chain, and this emits an event with the unique poll identifier, which is used to generate a link to view the frame on Forecaster. And to vote on a poll, the user generates zero knowledge proof to prove the forecaster ID, the ownership of a forecaster ID without revealing it. And once the poll is completed, all these proofs are collected, and a Merkle root proof is taken and verified on chain. So let's look at a demo. Yeah, so this is the home page. Let's just try creating a poll. Yeah, so what is? I'm just going with something generic. Uh, mm, okay, let's just leave it here. So let's make this poll for 10 minutes, and you could choose any amount of time you want. So for now, I'll just post the poll. So now it gets uploaded on our IPFS, and it requires a transaction.
What's wrong with the invoice?
Yeah, it's confirmed, and we got our unique URL here. Let's just copy this and go to Forecaster and click on Cast and paste it.
But there was a lot of other.
So now, yeah, so this is a poll that we just created. Yeah, so now we can click on vote. So in the future, I'd like to generate a proof directly from this frame, but now it's not possible since there is some timeout in forecaster frames, and proof generation takes quite a bit. So let's just open it in a separate page, and now we have this option. So let's just click hip hop cast vote. So now this requires a signature, which will be passed privately to the circuit and verified in the circuit, and the forecaster ID will be fetched to generate the nullifier. Oh, already voted.
Stronger into the same.
Well, it should show already voted.
So I want to. No, I spoke to my partner.
Not sure why it's showing already voted. Maybe it's fetching the wrong poll. Okay, so here I have a example. Since the proof generation takes time, I already generated a proof earlier to show in the demo how it looks like. So as you can see, this is a proof, and once the proof verification is success, is this data is sent to the backend, and once the poll ends, the Merkle root proof is taken and passed on chain. You can always look at the results of the poll. So yeah, I think this one, this some other poll. So you can see a pop here. That's a different poll. And oh, okay. So here we have results. So I created this 7 days ago, and I made a vote here for R&B, and you can always view results directly from here too. So yeah. So that's the demo, and I built this myself. I hope you liked it. Feel free to connect with me regarding any queries. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for walking us through that.
Yeah.
I have a few questions.
Sure.
So I think in your presentation, there was a mention of Anon Atar. Can you talk about what you use it for and how that interacts?
Sorry, are you asking me about Nor?
No, about Anon Atar.
Anon Adar. Okay. So I just disabled it for now because since I'm trying to push it to production, I'm trying since not everyone has Aadhaar ID, right? So I just disabled it since it's going to production. Yeah. So Anon Aadhaar is used for Sybil protection. If you guys are if you guys are not aware of Anon Aadhaar, it's service by Ethereum Foundation. They created it where you can generate a zero knowledge proof from your national identity in India. So this can be used to prevent Sybil attacks, where a user can create multiple forecaster IDs to vote from, and that's actually a threat, right? So I'm exploring other features, other options for to tackle Sybil attacks, and yeah, so that's still in progress.
Gotcha. And yeah, we're definitely familiar with Anon Atar. I was just trying to figure out what you use it for or like how it interacts with your app, but that's a cool use case there. And then can you like two more things on my mind right now? Can you talk us a bit through what the future for this might look like? I think you've mentioned making this into an actual forecaster app. Can you talk about that a bit more and what that entails?
Yeah. So right now, as you could see, there is no incentivization happening, but this should be a product that is incentivized, and people should pay to create cast through my application. So there's a difference between a forecaster application or a regular application. So when a user creates a forecaster application, when a user wants to interact with the forecaster application, he needs to pay in form of bobs, which is the native currency in forecaster. So I didn't make it a forecast application. As you can see, I made it like you can just copy a link and paste it. But if it is a forecast application, the user should be able to cast directly from my website. And yeah, that's the actual goal of it, goal of this project, to port it to forecast application. And I couldn't pull it out during the hackathon because there's a lot of issues I was running into in building one. Yeah, so but that should be in the future.
Got it. Cool. Regarding Anon Atar, we can probably maybe help you out there and see what kind of issues you run into. And also like one more thing I wanted to mention, because we talked previously about gas fees, right? And that might be a hurdle for you and figuring out a solution to that. And it's so funny because I completely forgot about a very big thing that's going to happen very soon. So I don't know how familiar you are with the Ethereum upgrades and hard forks that are upcoming, right? But on March 13th, there's going to be an upgrade called Denkun. And that is going to introduce a data market on Ethereum layer 1 that rollups can use. And so that's going to make rollups a lot more cheap because the majority of the fees on rollups is the data cost that gets settled back to the layer 1. So on March 13th, the cost for transactions on Scroll and all other rollups is going to drop significantly. So I would be super curious to hear from you how cheap it's going to be after March 13th.
Yeah, so I'm not sure of the upgrade you're talking about. But if that's gonna happen, the poll creation should be cheaper, because because I'm not gonna incentivize and collect money from creating polls, but I'm gonna have a monthly subscription in warps. So that's since I told that's a native currency. So it's like the user to keep creating private polls from an application would require to uh, subscribe to me by paying warps. And yeah, that should be cool, since the user don't have to pay again for creating a poll. I mean, we just saw the gas fees right now. It was $17. That was crazy. I mean, I would never spend $17 to create a poll.
Yeah, for sure. I can send you some resources after this call around this upgrade, so you can read into that. But it's going to be a lot more, a lot cheaper for sure.
That's super interesting. Yeah, that's super interesting.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm gonna send you that for sure, and you can have a read through and see for yourself. But yeah, thanks so much for demoing this. I don't think I have many questions. Other than that, it's really cool to see someone build on Farcaster using ZK and all of that happening on scroll. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I was muted. What is it? Thank you. Anyways, yeah, thank you, Gabriel, for presenting. So this is the end, but before we leave, I want to give a shout out to all these hackers for um, hacking in what is probably one of the most difficult tracks in whole Web3, which is like CK related and privacy. So, real props to all these hackers for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, this hackathon was really focused on ZK and privacy. So it's actually really cool because Scroll has received 45 submissions, which is a really decent number, especially for how like specialized the tracks were. So huge props to all of those that have attended and hacked on something. It's always good to see that. And yeah, let me shine like one more spotlight on this upgrade I was talking about. So it's going to happen on March 13th. It's an upgrade to the Ethereum Layer 1 blockchain. And the upgrade is called Dankun, and it's going to introduce the proto-dank sharding blob data market on Layer 1. Because rollups post data to the Layer 1, that's how you ensure that everything is safe. And this obviously incurs a fee because the data has to be stored somewhere, and that's going to be on the nodes of the Layer 1. And so with this new data market, things are going to be much, much cheaper because it decouples the data market from the normal like gas fee market. And so this decoupling is going to make it cheaper, and it's also going to have more capacity for data in general. So yeah, March 15th is the date to watch there. The transaction fees on L2s will drop across the board. And it's going to be great. And I can also add some more context here if anybody's curious, because people keep asking, oh, how much cheaper is it going to be? And there's not a single number that anybody can give here because it depends on various different factors. Sorry for hijacking this hackathon call here, Juan, but I think this is really interesting. So it basically depends on a number of different factors. One factor is the amount of different transactions that are being made, right? Because the blob, like each blob on VL1 can only store so much data. And if that data gets filled up, it basically is going to be the usual outbidding like fee market, right? So people will have to outbid each other to get their data included. So as long as we're under that limit, transactions are going to be super cheap. Once we pass that limit, they're going to get a bit more expensive. Second factor is the complexity of the transaction itself, right? Because like a simple ETH send transaction is going to not use a lot of data, but if you do some complex DeFi transaction or a multi-call or something like that, then the data that is settled to VL1 is going to be a lot larger, and then you consume more data as well. And one other factor is the blob size and how efficiently it is used up. So if the blob size is like 100 kilobytes and you have one transaction that is 99 kilobytes and one that is 50, they both obviously can't fit into the same blob. So you lose that 1 kilobyte that could otherwise have been used. So yeah, but there's much more playing into all of this, and I'm not a researcher, so but I just want to provide some brief context here on this upgrade. It's still going to be a really big deal and going to make transactions a lot cheaper on L2s, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, I guess to finalize context there, info from our team is that Scroll is going to be supporting that in about a couple of weeks after Dencun launches for the next protocol upgrade. So just a heads up on that. There's much more than just Dencun coming to that protocol upgrade, as far as I'm aware. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Cool. Yep. Awesome. So next hackathon, Swag, we have a lot coming. From the top of my head, we have 3 in March with ETH Latam, ETH Samba, and ETH Taipei. So we're definitely going to be having these hackathon recap calls, and I'm interested to see maybe we can have our first hackathon recap calls in Spanish with the Latin ones coming up. So yeah, cool stuff coming up ahead.
That's awesome. I know a few words of Spanish, but I think you're gonna have to do this one without me.
Let's see what happens. But awesome. Great. Cool. So with that, I think we're good to wrap it up. We are under an hour today, which is a good milestone for us. We usually like overrun this, or actually, let me see. No, we've definitely surpassed the hour. Okay, Freck, but it's okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Swag, for joining here today, and thank you to all the hackers. Thank you to all the community that tuned in on Discord and um, on YouTube, and we'll catch you guys in the next Hackathon Recap call or the next office hours, which we hope to send in the next couple weeks. So see you, everybody. Take care. Peace.
Thank you, guys. Bye.